Hello, everyone, and welcome to this brand new first episode for 2022 with Christine Means Business. I'm so happy to be back, to be recording, and to be introducing you to wonderful, wonderful guests from all over the world. The show is designed to help everyone in the online world who wants to join the online business world to grow their business, to build a business, whether it is strategic, whether it is mindset. We do both. It's really important to me that we are in a holistic way that way. My name is Christine Hansen. I am a serialpreneur, currently focusing on Christine Means Business, which is a consulting and coaching agency to help you with your business. And today I will share wonderful wisdom with my guest, Kevin Palmieri, and he is one of the co-founders of the Next Level Universe. And they have a wonderful, wonderful promise. So listen to this. Hosts Kevin Palmieri and Alan Lazaros show you how to get to the next level in your life, love, health, and wealth. Now, that is a lot. So, Kevin, welcome to the show. I'm so excited to be talking to you. And I want to grill you straight away on that amazing tagline, because that is like the everything we ever dream of, isn't it?
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you for such a wonderful introduction. I appreciate it. And I am blessed to be what seems like one of the first guests in 2022.
You are.
So hopefully we can set a fairly high bar, and I appreciate the opportunity very much.
Wonderful. So tell me about the Next Level Universe, because it's something that is obviously not a spur of the moment thing. Like it's not something where you're like, okay, I'm just going to do this today. Obviously, there's a lot of experience in different fields. How did this Next Level Universe, where you are helping people to up level in these huge categories, how did it came to be?
So when I was 25, by all outside standards, I was very successful. I had a very high paying job. My girlfriend was a model. I had a brand new sports car. I had a brand new place to live. I was in the best shape I'd ever been because I just did a fitness show, but I was very miserable. I was depressed. I was anxious, and I just wasn't a happy person. I wasn't excited for my future. I didn't even know what the word fulfillment meant, Christine. I didn't even know what that meant back then. So my girlfriend left me. And when my girlfriend left me, I started to look in the mirror and realize that I was very good at the external world. I was good at making money, and I was good at looking good on the beach. But when it came to internally, whether it was emotional intelligence or spirituality, I wasn't very good at that. So I ended up starting the podcast. Back in the day, it was called the Hyper Conscious Podcast, because for most of my life, I was living unconsciously. And I figured, what's the opposite of unconscious? It's hyper conscious. And I ended up partnering with my business partner, Alan, and we did a full rebrand 400 episodes in. And that's when we leaned into Next Level University, because I believe there's a ton of valuable podcasts out there, but oftentimes the ones that talk about making money are littered with ego. The ones that talk about spirituality don't give you tactics on how to succeed. The ones that are about emotional intelligence often lack some logic that more logical people would like. And the ones that tell you, well, you got to take action, and they're super motivational, they don't give you anything else. And our goal is to have a holistic, heart-driven, but no BS approach to self-improvement, because I think that's what has to happen now more than ever. People are understanding that they're intricate and they have differences and they're unique, and everybody can learn in a different way. But I do believe you need health, you need wealth, you need life, and you need love, because those are all the pillars of a successful, fulfilling life.
Amazing. And I think that's why you perfectly fit in here, because that's exactly what we do. And you're right. I mean, when I started business in 2015, 16, it was a very masculine, ego-driven place. Like you had the typical ads where everyone was in front of their shiny cars, and where it was like, I'm make 50K a day, blah, 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 blah. And, in the beginning, it's all shiny and new, and you just don't know better. And I feel, especially in the beginning, as you said as well, we're not aware how important we are in this story, like our feelings are in building a business, because it's usually taken out of equations, right? Usually it's just about spreadsheets if we think about it in a traditional sense. And so it's missing. And I'm really happy that we are now really, as I'm interviewing more and more people for the podcast, getting into this world, I'm really seeing how there's a little revolution happening where it's first of all, okay, we need to merge strategy and feelings, and also where we let the feminine come in a little bit a little bit as well, speaking about love. Like for some people that was like, oh, how weak, but it's starting to become a beautiful thing to talk about without feeling ashamed or weak or anything like that. It's actually making you stronger in that way. And I'm going to self-promote shamelessly here, because my book is coming out in 3 weeks and it's called We Mean Business. And it has like your strategy sections, branding, niching, email marketing, but it also has personal health and mindset, because you can become super successful on paper, or as you said, on the outside, but not on the inside. I really feel it's impossible. Yeah. So you have taken your personal development, everything you've learned from your podcast guests, and you put it into the next level university. Now, one tool that you're using, and that has been the beginning, if I understand correctly, is podcasting. So tell me a little bit what podcasting means to you, and let's go from how it helped you personally and also how it helped you in business, because I think that's what our audience will connect with beautifully here.
So podcasting is definitely the through line. That was the thing that started my personal development journey. I had never read a book before I started the podcast and podcasting journey. I was way out of the loop with self-improvement. I didn't know Tony Robbins. I didn't know any of that. I know. So that for
I can
me
relate to that.
Right. It's that. Go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that for me was the necessity to start growing. Mm-hmm. And obviously there was some pain associated with my girlfriend at the time leaving me, but the podcast gave me direction. And this is how it actually happened. My business partner interviewed me on his podcast before I had one. And he went to the bathroom and my other buddy was there. And I said, imagine if you could do that for a living. And he said, you can do that for a living. And I went out and I bought all the equipment I needed the next day. I had a mixer, I had the microphones, I had all the stuff. And from then on, it became my dream, my audacious goal to be able to do this full time. In episode number 7, by myself, I was just complaining about life basically. And I said, my dream life is to wake up when I want, to podcast with amazing people, to go to the gym when I want, to spend time with my friends and family when I want, and to spend time with my significant other. And we're 841 episodes in today. That is my life. I get to do that every single day. And I'm so grateful for that. So I have learned, oh my goodness, more about myself than anything else for sure, because being in front of the camera, being in front of the microphone, making mistakes, screwing up speeches, struggling on coaching calls, that has forced me to look in the mirror every single day for the last 5 years. Really, what it has meant for our business and our brand is it's been the best way to build real, authentic relationships with real people, and also really ignite the power of the compound effect and ignite the power of small improvements. When you've given 840 podcast episodes, it's almost like 840 speeches. And looking back to episode 1 or episode 100 or 200, you start to see, oh, wow, I really improved that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not saying,
I hope so.
But yeah, I right. Or I'm in the wrong business. One of the two. I'm not saying but basically I'm not doing the things I used to do. My storytelling is way better. I'm more confident. So it has helped me up level my confidence, but it has helped our business 20x. I don't even know. I cannot put a number on it because it is the through line of the entire business and brand and everything we have.
Exactly. And I think that's also something. So let's not sugarcoat it. Let's go a little bit into the strategic piece here. I think one of the lessons that we really want to get across as podcasters is that it's not an overnight success. And that's also the great thing about it, because podcast episodes live and they will serve you for years and years to come. Now, I think one thing that we can agree on, though, is that there's a couple of elements that you can include in order to really make sure that you get as much of a return as possible. And it's probably consistency, I would guess.
Yes.
And also you talk about, what is it, 800 shows, is it?
842 as of today. Yeah.
That is a lot of shows.
Yes.
So it's also frequency, I imagine. If you want to collapse time, obviously, if you do it less frequently, it's obviously going to take a little bit longer. So tell me a little bit about how you came up with the perfect time arrangement, as in how much time you wanted to invest, how often you decided to podcast. Is that difficult? Do you batch? Do you do it spontaneously? And what other elements do you do in order for your episodes to be heard by as many people as possible?
Yes. So our growth, I will tell you, is not, it's not basic by any stretch of the imagination, in terms of we have spreadsheets on spreadsheets on spreadsheets on spreadsheets on spreadsheets. Anybody who's ever reached out to us, we have all their information. I track the listens every day. I track my social media engagement and reach every single day. I track our finances every single day. So there's 23 things that I track every single day. And Alan, my business partner, has a whole bunch of things he does every day too. So I want to make sure that I'm authentic and transparent.
Exactly. Because a lot of people think, oh, it's fun just having a chat. And it's like, well, there's more to it. So
it is fun having a chat for sure. But we have a 13-person team. So like there's a lot of things that go into our growth. If you're a new podcaster, focus on one episode a week, focus on quality equipment. And this is the one that for some reason people leave out. Focus on improving as a podcaster, because if you're not good yet, that's okay. I was not good. I was very bad in the beginning. It's okay. But if you're saying, why aren't I more successful? Why don't I have more listens? Maybe you're just not worth listening to yet. And then you can go back to the drawing board and study speaking. How many podcasters have studied speaking, have studied interviewing, have studied pauses, have studied tonality? A podcast it's a presentation. It's a performance. It's an art. It really is an art. And when you get on the mic and you start interviewing people, and you interview people, so you know this, it's very much not just jump on and wing it. There's a lot that goes into the back end. So I don't want to ever discourage anybody from starting. What I will tell you is it has been the most difficult thing ever of all time. 7 episodes a week is wildly challenging. We do 6 of them on Monday. So we do 6 episodes, record 6 on Monday, and then we do the guest episode later in the week. That's part of it. But again, we have a team. We have an audio team. We have a video team. We have people that help us. So I'm very grateful for that. Focus on consistency. Focus on 1% improvements, and make sure you stay in your niche. That's an important one that a lot of people don't understand. You're not going to be the next Joe Rogan, most likely. That was my goal at the beginning. I wanted to be Joe Rogan. And then I realized very quickly that Joe Rogan's niche is that he doesn't have a niche. And you have to niche down and make sure that you own whatever space you have, because you want to be known for what you're the best at.
Exactly.
So I think that those are all important distinctions. And I believe if you want to be digital, if you want to go digital and you don't have a podcast, you're making a decent sized mistake. Maybe you don't think it's for you. That's okay. But you have to understand that, yes, somebody following you on social media is valuable, but there's nothing like somebody listening to an hour, 2 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours of content per week. That deepens and strengthens the relationship at a level that you don't understand yet. I didn't understand either. And it's just, if we didn't have a podcast, we would not have a business.
I agree. Like, I really think that the voice is something that you cannot fake. Like, people just know instantly. Video, you can actually, I feel like it really even, and this is not just me being shallow, this is science. Just more beautiful people have an easier time. It's not personal, nothing like that, but it's just, I don't know if I'm sure you read Influence by Robert Cialdini.
Yep.
And it's just science, it's just like, unfortunately, it's just the way it is. But with podcasts, I do agree. If you listen to something and you like the voice, you like the way they talk, you like the way they are, basically, it's very direct and it's very faithful. Now, the thing that I do want to add though, because I'm always not about the caveat or, raining on anyone's parade, but it takes people time sometimes to then have the courage to reach out, which I feel is if someone reaches out to you from your podcast subscriber base, it's an instant match, but it can take months, even years of people who tell me, I've been listening to you ever since your first business, which was in 2015. And it's just, I connected with you. I listen to it when I drive my car every week or something like that. But it's just taken me like years to actually, now is the time to reach out. So again, I feel podcast is this beautiful, more of a slow, steady, highly rewarding business rather than, let's take a counterpart, which might be Facebook ads, where it's more, okay, we're going to just spend a little bit more money into it and then it's a faster result. Again, it's all about time collapse and how much you want to spend into collapsing that time.
Even to your point, Christine, some people will never reach out.
Some people will never reach out.
They'll never reach out. And that's okay. We just launched a free course, and the people that signed up for that, I have no idea who they are. I've never connected with them, which is super exciting because it's like, oh, awesome. There's people that we don't know about. And now what do? I can send them a message and I can further the relationship. This is a hack. I got this from my buddy, Mark Metry. Mark Metry is a big podcaster.
Yeah, I know him from LinkedIn for some reason. Yeah. Yes.
He's a buddy of mine. And he said, Kev, scale the unscalable. Every time somebody follows you, send them a video. And I've been doing that for the last year and a half, 2 years. Every time, and I've been screwing this up lately because I've been stretched very thin, but I'm intending on getting back to it. When somebody follows you and they're a podcast listener, treat them with the value that they actually have. Send them a video and say, hey, Christine, thanks so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Thanks so much for listening to the show. We couldn't do it without you. Let me know if I can help you. I say that all the time. Now, you'd think I'm swamped with people asking for help. No, people don't want to ask for help. They need the invitation. Some people will, but it doesn't happen as often as you think, but it always furthers the relationship. And that's the game that digital is in. If you want to separate yourself, you have to build relationships. And we're not playing the Amazon game of just build the largest thing ever of all time. It's a different game that we're playing.
And it has changed. I want to add as well. It has changed because when we started out around the same time, so like 5-6 years ago, right? The internet was still different. Like I always say, the internet, yes, it's just light years. It's very different from brick and mortar. And at the time, it was still exciting. Like people had, like Facebook was still Facebook. It was not what it is now. It was, you actually were still on there to connect with people, at least those of my age at the time. Now everyone is leaving because it's just an ad fest, right? It's just like ads popping up everywhere. But at the time, it was easier to still wow people. By now, everyone is so accustomed to it that it does take a lot of the time longer for people to take action. And I see it with my clients when I work with beginners. It's like, we have everything in place. Why isn't it happening? What am I missing? And it's just, as you said, first of all, people don't necessarily like to ask for help. Even if you write the perfect copy, if you say the perfect things. Plus, there is a lot of cautiousness going on, I feel, towards the internet as well, more than probably they used to, even though people think, well, now that everyone, specifically with the pandemic, that everyone knows about Zoom and all of these things, shouldn't it be easier? I actually think it's the opposite. People have a fatigue towards it. So it takes you a different way. And I feel podcasting is great for that because it adds this human element to it again. I feel when you have conversations, people are more vulnerable. You talk about those epic failures that you had, with humor, hopefully not crying, even if that is the case, it's fine too. So I agree with you that we need a little bit more effort, a little bit more personalization, and a lot more patience. I just feel that is a vibe that is happening right now.
Yeah, I concur. And I believe that, I think of it like this, and this is what I always tell my clients. Your podcast is the input. How many pieces of output can we get from that podcast? So, and I'm sure you do this podcast will be recorded on audio. It'll be recorded on video. It'll get sent to YouTube. It'll get cut into teaser clips. It'll get cut for a blog. That right there, this half hour we spent together might be 12 pieces of content. So it's not just a podcast. It's free advertisement. it's building relationships, it's marketing, it's interviewing guests, and building different connections and collaborations. So it really is, I think, the way of the future, because more things are going voice, and eventually you'll just say, hey, play a podcast on self-improvement, and boom, something will play. Oh, I don't want this one. Play one on holistic self-improvement. Oh, okay. And things are starting to shift like that. And you need the online real estate. You need the digital real estate now more than ever.
I agree. And it's so interesting what you're saying about audio, because I decided for 2022, I'm actually ditching my written newsletter. It won't exist anymore as of this week. I do everything through audio, and I'm working with my guys at Hello Audio. If you guys don't know it yet, you can go to christinemeansbusiness.com/Hello Audio. It's my referral link. And I have my whole book that's coming out. It's also going to be available as an audio course. So you can hear me listen as I read it with some extras. My newsletter is in audio. All of my courses are going to be in audio, so forth, because it's what I prefer to do. It's the easiest way. I don't like writing, so I chose what is the easiest for me. It is video and audio, but audio is even easier because I don't have to wear makeup or anything. I can do it in the morning, like literally however I look, whatever day I want to. And I do agree that people like it because you can do it wherever you want to be, like as you're walking your dog. You don't have to watch the video. You can listen to it wherever, however you are. You don't need a screen for it. That is different. It makes a difference, I feel. So I do agree that people start to go towards it. And also you need to think about what kind of people you like, because I feel that people who take the time to listen, I don't want to say they're smarter, but at the same time I do, because they take the time. They are a little bit more patient. They have a certain attention span. And I do find when you then work with them, they really take in what you say, rather than someone who's like clicking here, clicking there. It's just, it already is a different crowd. It's a very, I like audio listeners, obviously. So, so it's my personal 2 cents. But I do feel that I'm onto something with that.
I would agree. It's more intentional.
Yeah.
That's what it is at the end of the day. You're setting the intention to focus on one thing.
I agree. Yeah. So you've been talking a lot about this, and I think there's already a lot of wisdom through this. Now, is this also something, tell me a little bit more about how this is maybe also a part of the Next Level University, and what else people can expect as well when they head over to your website. And it's well, we've mentioned it a few times, but it's very simple. It's nextleveluniverse.com. So not university, but it's nextleveluniverse.com, where you can find a link towards the Next Level University. So what, apart from, I suppose, guidance towards how you can create a podcast and strategy, what else can people expect?
So the year of 2022 is going to be it's going to be a stretch year for us for sure. So we're doing an episode a day. So by the end of this year, we'll have 365 episodes from this year. So an episode a day.
No way.
We're doing a virtual live event every month. So it's actually next week or this week. I don't even know when it is. But so it's going to be a Zoom kind of mastermind meetup where we connect with the listeners and we talk about a certain thing. We're doing a quarterly event, live event in person, anywhere from 100 to 300 people. And then we're also going to be doing a retreat at the end of the year. One of our clients has a very, very, very beautiful home in Maine and plenty of room for 20 or 30 people. And we're going to do a retreat, a Next Level retreat. So for us, you're going to get more of what we're doing. Our goal is to deliver free value every single day forever. That's our goal, is to never stop producing free content. And honestly, to have more free content than anybody else, because the person who adds the most value on the front end collects on the back end. And if you don't collect, at least you get to add value and practice mastery. We're playing the ultra long game, very against what I wanted to do in the beginning for sure. But now I'm starting to understand the importance of that and more online courses, more A-level guests, everything growing exponentially is what you can expect from NLU in the future, 2022. And you can find all that on the website.
I'm excited. I'm
Thank you.
honestly sending you so much energy because it's
I'll need it.
It
I will
like
need it.
nightmare for me, but I get it if you batch it smartly. Like
Yes.
batching is what I always teach because I think otherwise there's no way.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited. We should meet up again next year to see how it went.
For sure.
But the good thing about it is that it's all predictable. Like you can always podcast.
Mm-hmm.
My last 2 years were completely upside down because I had travel experiences, international traveling experiences as high-end tickets. So that was my last 2 years completely gone. And this year I was just like, okay, let's keep it on the map, but I'm not even expecting it to happen. But it's a sound plan. It's very steady. You can predict it. And it's going to be interesting as well to see the numbers. I'm really excited to hear about that and seeing how things might have changed or how they might not have, what your lesson was after a 365 episode year.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's very exciting.
Well, I appreciate that.
Thank you so much for being here, Kevin. Thank you, other half as well, Alan, to that, you both are able and willing to share all of your wisdom through anyone who's interested. And for you guys, if you want to reach out to Kevin, then you can search for Kevin Palmieri. So Palmieri is just Palmieri on Facebook, on LinkedIn, or on Instagram. And I'm sure you can just connect with him and let him know that you've heard him talk here on the podcast. And if you have any questions, then please reach out and ask him. As always, we have all the links, as well as a free taster of the Next Level University on our website, on our show notes, where you can click on so that you don't have to search anywhere. So you can find that at christinemeansbusiness.com/blog. And please don't forget to subscribe, whether you're on YouTube or whether you're listening to this on any podcast form. We would be really, really happy. So thanks, everyone. Kevin, thank you so much for being here today. It was an absolute honor. I'm so excited, and I'm wishing you and your business all the best for this year.
Thank you, Christine. It was a pleasure.
Talk to you soon, everyone. Bye-bye for now.